Have you ever witnessed someone receive information that changed everything in an instant, when a single piece of paper contains words powerful enough to freeze a dangerous man in his tracks? This is the story of a note, a waitress who didn't understand its significance, and the mafia boss whose carefully controlled world shattered the moment he read it. Destiny Walker had worked at Hanami, an upscale Korean-Japanese fusion restaurant in downtown Los Angeles, for 18 months. At 25, she knew her regulars by heart, their usual orders, their preferred tables, their tipping habits. But one customer stood out from all the others. Kim Hyun-woo came in every Wednesday at exactly 7 p.m., always alone, always impeccably dressed in dark suits that screamed wealth and power. He sat at table 8, ordered the same meal, and spent exactly 90 minutes eating while reviewing documents on his tablet. He was polite but distant, tipped precisely 20%, and never made small talk. The staff whispered about him. He's connected, the head chef had said once. Probably Yakuza or Korean Mafia. See how he carries himself? That's not regular businessman energy. Destiny didn't care about rumors. In her world, customers were customers, and Hyun-woo never caused trouble. He was just another wealthy professional in a city full of them. This particular Wednesday started like any other. Hyun-woo arrived at 7 p.m. sharp, nodded politely to Destiny, and took his usual seat. She brought his usual green tea without being asked. "Thank you," he said, his English perfect but accented. "Of course, Mr. Kim. The chef has a special tonight, black cod with miso glaze. Would you like to try it, or should I bring your usual? The special sounds excellent." As Destiny turned to leave, an older Korean woman at the neighboring table touched her arm. The woman looked agitated, her hands trembling as she held a folded piece of paper. "Please," the woman said in heavily accented English, "give this to him." She gestured toward Hyun-woo. "Very important, please. Ma'am, I can't just, please." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "He needs to know. You give him, please." Destiny glanced at Hyun-woo, who was absorbed in his tablet, then back at the desperate woman. "Okay, I'll give it to him." The woman pressed the note into Destiny's hand, stood abruptly, and left the restaurant before Destiny could ask any questions. Destiny looked down at the folded paper. It was thick, expensive stationery, sealed with what looked like a wax seal. When she brought Hyun-woo's order, she hesitated. "Mr. Kim, this is unusual, but a woman at the next table asked me to give you this. She left right after." She handed him the sealed note. Hyun-woo took it with a slight frown, clearly not expecting to receive messages from strangers in restaurants. He broke the seal and unfolded the paper. Destiny watched his expression change. The polite distance vanished, replaced by something she'd never seen on his face: shock, followed by what looked like barely controlled fury and grief. His hands trembled slightly as he read, the color drained from his face. His jaw clenched so tightly she could see muscles working. He froze completely, staring at the paper like it contained the end of the world. "Mr. Kim," Destiny asked softly, "are you all right?" Hyun-woo didn't respond. He read the note again, then a third time, as if he couldn't believe the words. Finally he looked up at her, and Destiny was startled by the raw emotion in his eyes. "The woman who gave you this, what did she look like?" "Korean, maybe in her 60s, gray hair pulled back, wearing a dark blue hanbok." She seemed upset. Hyun-woo stood abruptly, dropping cash on the table, far more than the bill required. "I have to go. Keep the change." He left so quickly he nearly knocked over his chair. Destiny watched him rush out, still clutching the note, his usual composure completely shattered. The next morning, Destiny arrived at work to find two Korean men in expensive suits waiting outside the restaurant. They approached her before she could unlock the door. "Miss Walker," the taller one said, "we need to speak with you about last night." "Who are you?" "Associates of Mr. Kim. We understand you delivered a message to him. We need to know everything about the woman who gave it to you." Destiny's protective instincts kicked in. "I already told Mr. Kim everything I know. If he has more questions, he can ask me himself." "This is serious." "Then he can come ask me seriously. I don't talk to mysterious men in parking lots." The second man smiled slightly. "Mr. Kim said you had spirit. He's waiting inside his car if you're willing to speak with him." Destiny looked across the parking lot and saw a black Mercedes with tinted windows. Against her better judgment, she approached. The rear window rolled down, revealing Hyun-woo. He looked like he hadn't slept, his usual perfection replaced by exhaustion and distress. "I apologize for the ambush," he said, "but I need your help. That note, it concerns someone very important to me. Please, can we talk?" Something in his voice made Destiny nod. She slid into the back seat, acutely aware of the two men standing guard outside. "The woman who gave you the note," Hyun-woo began without preamble. "You said she wore a hanbok. What color was the trim?" "Gold thread, I think, and she had a jade bracelet on her left wrist." Hyun-woo closed his eyes briefly. "That was my mother." "Your mother? Why would she?" "Because she's been dead for 3 years." His voice was hollow. "Or so I believed until last night." Destiny felt chills run down her spine. "What? 3 years ago my mother was kidnapped by a rival organization. They sent me her belongings, her jewelry, including that jade bracelet. They sent me photos of her body. I held her funeral. I mourned her." Hyun-woo's hands clenched. "But that note was in her handwriting. It contained information only she would know. Family secrets, childhood memories. And it said she's been alive this whole time, held captive, too afraid to reach out because they threatened to kill me if she did. Oh my God." The note said she finally escaped, that she's in hiding, that I shouldn't look for her because they're still hunting her. But it also said she needed me to know she was alive, and that she loved me. Hyun-woo looked at Destiny with desperate intensity. "I need to know everything about that woman, every detail. Was she injured? Did she seem afraid? Did anyone follow her?" Destiny closed her eyes, pulling up the memory. "She seemed nervous, but not injured that I could see. She kept looking toward the door, like she expected someone. Her hands were shaking when she gave me the note. And wait, there was a man at the bar watching her. Chinese, I think. He left right after she did." Hyun-woo pulled out his phone and made a rapid call in Korean. Then he turned back to Destiny. "Thank you. You may have just saved my mother's life. Why are you telling me all this? You don't even know me." "Because you're now connected to it. If they were watching my mother, they saw her interact with you. You're a potential target." He paused. "I'm assigning protection to you. Discreetly, but present. Excuse me. I won't let you be collateral damage because you helped my mother. My men will watch over you until this is resolved." Over the next week, Destiny found herself in a surreal situation. Two men were always nearby, at her apartment building, outside the restaurant, following her car. Hyun-woo's discreet protection was obvious to her, but apparently invisible to everyone else. Hyun-woo himself came to the restaurant every day now, always sitting at table 8, but now he talked to Destiny, asked questions about that night, about the man at the bar, about anything she might have remembered. He was different than before, the cold distance replaced by desperate determination. "Have you found her?" Destiny asked one evening, bringing him tea he didn't drink. "Not yet, but I'm close." The note mentioned a safe house near Monterey Park. "We're searching." He looked up at her. "I owe you an explanation about who I am." "Your men already told me. You run an organization, Korean Mafia," they said, though they preferred Business Network. Hyun-woo smiled grimly. "Accurate. I inherited it from my father when I was 26. When my mother was kidnapped, it was retaliation for something my father had done years before. I took revenge, eliminated the people responsible, or so I thought. Clearly I missed someone. And now I'm going to find my mother, eliminate whoever held her captive for 3 years, and make sure nothing like this ever happens again." He said it matter-of-factly, like discussing a business plan. "Does that frighten you?" "Should it? Most people would be terrified." "You seem curious." Destiny sat down across from him, breaking every restaurant protocol, but the evening rush was over. "Mr. Kim, I grew up in South Central. My brother was killed in gang violence when I was 16. My cousin's in prison for retaliation murders. I understand the world you live in better than you might think. It's not better or worse than the legitimate world. It's just more honest about its violence." Hyun-woo studied her. "You're not what I expected. Neither are you. I thought you were just another rich asshole who barely saw service workers as human. Turns out you're a rich asshole with a secret mafia empire and a missing mother." He laughed, actually laughed, the first time she'd heard him do so. "I like you, Destiny Walker." "Good, because your men are terrible at being discreet. One of them asked my neighbor if he could watch her apartment from her window. She called the cops. The breakthrough came 9 days after the note. Hyun Woo's people found the safe house, a small apartment in Monterey Park. But when they breached it, they found it empty except for more notes, more clues, leading them on what seemed like a deliberate trail. She's testing me, Hyun Woo told Destiny over yet another untouched meal, making sure I'm coming alone, that I haven't been followed by her captors. How do you know it's her and not a trap? Because each note contains family information only we would know. She's authenticating herself while staying hidden. He pushed his plate away. The latest note gave coordinates to a location in Koreatown. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. She'll be there. Are you going? Of course. Alone. She specified alone. That's definitely a trap. Hyun Woo smiled slightly. Probably, but if there's even a chance it's really her, I have to take it. The next evening, Destiny was closing table 8. Hyun Woo's table, though he wasn't there when one of his men approached her. Mr. Kim requested you meet him, if you're willing. Where? The location from the note. He wanted you there as a witness, someone outside his organization who could verify what happens. Destiny should have said no, should have stayed far away from whatever was about to happen. Instead, she found herself in the back of a Mercedes heading to an abandoned warehouse in Koreatown. Hyun Woo was waiting outside with a small team. You came, against my better judgment. Why do you want me here? Because if this goes wrong, I need someone who'll tell the truth about what happened. My men are loyal, but loyalty can distort truth. You have no reason to lie for me. They entered the warehouse carefully. It was dark, empty except for a single light in the center. Under the light sat a woman, the same woman Destiny had seen at the restaurant, the woman who was supposed to be dead. Amani, Hyun Woo breathed. Mother. The woman stood, tears streaming down her face. Nay Adder, my son. They moved toward each other, and Destiny watched a reunion 3 years in the making. But her attention was caught by movement in the shadows, figures emerging, surrounding them. It's a trap, she shouted. The lights blazed on, revealing a dozen armed men surrounding them, and stepping out from behind them was an older Korean man with a cruel smile. Hello Hyun Woo, he said in accented English. Did you really think it would be this easy? Hyun Woo positioned himself between his mother and the threat. Uncle Sangmin, I should have known. You should have. Your father destroyed my family, took everything from me. I've waited years for the perfect revenge, and your mother, dear Hyun Woo, gave it to me. You're the one who took her. I'm the one who kept her alive, fed her, housed her, treated her well, as long as she cooperated. And she did cooperate, because I told her if she didn't, I'd kill you. Simple. Hyun Woo's mother sobbed. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. He made me write the notes, made me lead you here. It's okay, Hyun Woo said softly, then louder to Sangmin. Let them go. Your quarrel is with me. How noble. But no, I think I'll kill you in front of your mother. Let her watch like I watched my family destroyed. Then I'll kill her too. Complete the circle. Destiny, forgotten in the corner, realized Sangmin's men hadn't searched her. She still had her phone. Slowly, carefully, she pulled it out and dialed 911, whispering the address before ending the call. But she didn't need the police. Hyun Woo's men breached the warehouse from 3 different entrances simultaneously. The small team outside had been a diversion. The real force had been positioned around the building. The firefight was brief and brutal. Destiny ducked behind a crate, heart pounding, as gunfire echoed through the warehouse. When the smoke cleared, Sangmin's men were subdued or dead, and Sangmin himself was on his knees, held by 2 of Hyun Woo's enforcers. Hyun Woo approached his uncle slowly. You used my mother, tortured her for 3 years, made her betray me, and I'd do it again. Your father deserved. Hyun Woo shot him, once clean between the eyes. His mother looked away, but didn't cry. In the siren's distance, Hyun Woo turned to Destiny. You should go. The police will have questions you don't want to answer. What about you? I'll handle it. I always do. He paused. Thank you, for everything, for delivering the note, for being here, for calling the police even though it could have gotten you killed. How did you know? I always know. He smiled slightly. Go, Destiny. This isn't your world. 3 weeks later, Destiny was working her usual Wednesday shift when Hyun Woo walked in at exactly 7 p.m. He sat at table 8, looking like he'd never left, composed, distant, impeccably dressed. Destiny approached cautiously. Mr. Kim, your usual, please. And Destiny, thank you for your discretion with the police. I told them I wasn't there, that I was working. My coworkers backed me up. I know, I made sure of it. He looked up at her, and she saw something different in his eyes, not the cold distance, but not vulnerability either. Respect. My mother is safe now, in hiding still, until we're certain no other threats exist, but she's alive and free, because of you. I just delivered a note. You delivered hope, and you stood witness when everything could have gone wrong. That matters. Is your uncle dead, as he deserved to be? The police ruled it gang violence, which technically it was. His organization has been absorbed into mine, and his men have been given a choice: join me or leave the city. Most chose to join. Just like that, 3 years of captivity resolved in one night. Nothing is ever that simple, but yes, essentially. Hyun Woo pulled out an envelope. This is for you, from my mother. Inside was a letter in Korean with English translation, and a check for $50,000. The letter thanked Destiny for her kindness, her bravery, and for being the person who'd started the chain of events that led to her freedom. I can't accept this. You can and you will. My mother insists. She also insists that I ensure you're no longer in danger from association with our family. Hyun Woo handed her a business card. If anyone ever threatens you, calls that number, you're under permanent protection now. Not because you need guarding, but because you're family now. I'm not. You helped my mother when you didn't have to. You stood witness when you could have run. You called police during a shootout. Those aren't the actions of a stranger. They're the actions of someone who cares. So yes, you're family now, whether you want to be or not. Destiny looked at the check, the letter, the business card. A month ago, she'd been a simple waitress with a regular customer. Now she was apparently family to a mafia boss because she'd delivered a note. Will you still come in on Wednesdays? She asked. Every week, 7 p.m. sharp, table 8. Your section. He smiled, a real smile this time. Someone has to make sure you're staying out of trouble, says the crime boss. Exactly. I'm an expert on trouble and destiny. Thank you for seeing a desperate woman and choosing kindness, for delivering a note that changed everything, for being someone worth protecting. 6 months later, Destiny still worked at Hanami. Hyun Woo still came every Wednesday. His mother, now living safely under an assumed name, sometimes joined him, always requesting Destiny's section, always leaving generous tips. The note that had frozen a mafia boss in terror had become a note that rebuilt a family, and Destiny, who'd simply been a waitress doing a favor for a desperate woman, had become the unlikely bridge between a mother and son, separated by 3 years of captivity and fears. Sometimes the smallest actions, delivering a note, showing kindness, choosing to help, create ripples that change everything. Destiny had handed over a piece of paper and watched a dangerous man freeze. But she'd also watched him thaw, watched him fight, watched him reclaim what had been stolen.